Marcus Carlson, you've got
Hi there,
the business news for us. We're going to begin, are we not, with the fortunes of BlackBerry.
You are absolutely right there, Tom. The Canadian smartphone maker used to almost define smartphones, but rivals like Apple and Samsung overtook it years ago. BlackBerry issued its latest quarterly figures this Friday, and for the first time since 2007, quarterly sales fell below $1 billion, and its quarterly loss came in at $423 million. Still, analysts say it could have been a lot worse. Jennifer Lush takes a closer look.
Fresh losses for BlackBerry. In what's become almost ritual, the Canadian company's posted a $423 million fourth quarter net loss. But despite the news, the alarm bells have stopped sounding. The company's on sounder financial footing today, insists the smartphone maker's chief executive, and things are going exactly to plan. Chen took the reins in November, revamping BlackBerry's executive ranks, speeding up redundancies and cutting company costs. He also introduced a marked shift in focus, from a smartphone company to a software business. In December, the firm signed a deal to farm out its manufacturing operations to the Taiwan-based Foxconn. Chen can now concentrate on BlackBerry's mobile device management business and popular messenger application. The latter, previously useless on anything but a BlackBerry, has since been opened up. The software now available to Apple and Android devices. But even if BlackBerry manages to recover some of the ground it's lost, the once $20 billion company that changed the face of the smartphone business is likely to only ever be a shadow of its former self.
BlackBerry shares traded up in the immediate aftermath of those quarterly results, but the gains fizzled out throughout the trading day on Friday, and shares they actually ended 7% down. The story was similar for the wider market over on Wall Street. The trading day started strong in the United States, but the indices lost some of that steam. Still, though, they ended above the flat line. The Dow Jones Industrial Average was up at the close, run about 0.33%. European indices also closed in positive territory. Hopes of more stimulus measures in both Europe and China also helped out the markets on both sides of the Atlantic. The CAC 40 was up 0.75%. The Frankfurt DAX also up 1.5%. Let's take a closer look at that story I just mentioned there. Investors, they are hoping that the threat of deflation will trigger the European Central Bank to act next week, and that was seen to be driving the stock markets this Friday. This as Spain reported its first fall in consumer prices in more than 4 years. Spanish prices were down 0.2% in March. It seemed to raise the prospect of the Eurozone heading for a deflationary spiral, and that in turn is seen to raise the pressure on the ECB to do more to stimulate the economy at a rate-setting meeting next week in Frankfurt. A statement from the Chinese Prime Minister is also helped the markets globally on Friday. Li Keqiang has said China was preparing targeted measures to help the economy. It comes at a time when the world's second biggest economy is seen to be cooling. Analysts say China's government wants to show that it is ready to act if necessary. Let's talk you through a few other stories that we're following for you. China's president has overseen the signing of a string of deals in Germany. Xi Jinping arrived in Berlin earlier as part of a European tour that also took him to France earlier in the week. This Friday, he witnessed a new €1 billion deal between Daimler and a Chinese partner to ramp up car production. And if we stay in Germany, pilots of the flag carrier Lufthansa are set to walk off the job 3 days next week. A union has called for a strike on Wednesday, Thursday and Friday as part of a long-running pay dispute. Lufthansa is calling for talks to avoid the walkout. It was already hard hit this week when ground staff at German airports went on strike. And shares in Intesa Sanpaolo were higher even as the Italian bank unveiled a €5.2 billion quarterly loss. The lender's bottom line got a hit by a write-down of €5.8 billion. That includes charges for bad loans that are at risk of not being paid back. Investors see the write-down as a sign that the bank is cleaning up its balance sheet. It comes as European officials are preparing a health check of European banks later this year. And finally, if you're in the market for a second-hand luxury car, look no further. In a bid to crack down on government waste, Italy is selling off a total of 151 cars on eBay, of all places. The cars include BMWs, Jaguars and Maseratis. The sale is seen as an attempt by the government to show that it is responding to pressures to cut spending. Overall, though, I think it's unlikely to make a huge difference. Italian public bodies own a total of 60,000 vehicles, and they cost around €1 billion each year to run. OK, with that, I'm going to wrap up the business news, and it's back to you, Tom.
Thank you very much indeed, Marcus Carlson. Well, up next here on France 24, a check of what's going on online in web news.